Same trip over there? Oh, okay. I guess I should come up with an official reason for having to come up here today. Yeah, you're on the title team, right? That's awesome. How's that going? Good. Is it not going good? Give me the tea. Yeah. You guys are just doing like the consulting thing. You do like 30 minutes of work a day, and then you go out and explore the world of coast. Yeah, it's a big question. I mean, she wants to do a lot of stuff.
She have a great time.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of Lieutenant General William H. Graham, Jr., 56th Chief of Engineers and Commanding General, U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, welcome to today's Relinquishment of Command ceremony. Thank you all who have joined us here and online. My name is Bob Prince, Chief of Staff, South Atlantic Division, and I will be moderating today's ceremony. This morning, Brigadier General Daniel H. Hibner will relinquish command to Colonel Matthew Y. McCulley, who will assume the duties of Acting Commander, South Atlantic Division. Joining us for today's ceremony are Command Sergeant Major Douglas Gallick, Command Sergeant Major for the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, and Command Sergeant Major Rodney C. Russell, Command Sergeant Major, South Atlantic Division, U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. Our South Atlantic Division members of the Senior Executive Service include Dr. Larry D. McAllister, Director of Programs, and Ms. Stephanie L. Hall, Director of Regional Business. Commanders joining our ceremony today include Colonel Jeremy Chapman, Commander of Mobile District, Colonel Brandon Boland, Commander Jacksonville District, Colonel Kelsey Shaw, Incoming Commander, Mobile District, and Major Patrick Ripton, Acting Commander, Charleston District. Also joining us from the U.S. Army Command, from U.S. Army Southern Command, is Colonel Sean Polanski, Command Engineer. Distinguished guests joining us include Mr. Kevin McComber, Regional Administrator, Region 4, Environmental Protection Agency, Mr. Mike Utker, Regional Director, U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, Southeast Region, Mr. Drew Bartlett, Executive Director, South Florida Water Management District. We are also honored to have numerous division chiefs and employees of the South Atlantic Division. Please join me in a round of applause for all of our guests. And now, most importantly, I would like to recognize the family members of Brigadier General Daniel H. Hibner. Please welcome Teresa Hibner, spouse of our current commander, Tessa, daughter of the Hibners, and a special welcome to Mary and Harry Hibner, parents of Brigadier General Hibner. Once again, please join me in a round of applause for welcoming them. From time immemorial, armies throughout the world have conducted ceremonies to commemorate victory over an enemy, to honor their heroes, to celebrate special occasions, or to pay homage to their fallen comrades. These ceremonies add color and pageantry to the military life. In the United States, the foundation of our present ceremonies was laid by the Continental Army. Today's ceremony is a reflection of procedures practiced since the dawn of our nation. It is derived from the Army's first manual of ceremonies, the Blue Book, written by General von Steuben. The ceremony that you are about to see includes arrival of the official party, invocation, honors to the nation, relinquishment of command, remarks, and conclusion. We hope you enjoy this historic event. The host for today's ceremony is Lieutenant General William H. Graham, Jr., 56th Chief of Engineers and Commanding General, U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. Please rise for the entrance of the official party and remain standing for the invocation given by Mr. Wilbert Paynes, former Chief, Planning and Policy Division, South Atlantic Division, followed by the playing of our national anthem.
Good morning to all. Lieutenant General Graham, 56th Chief of Engineers, Commanding General of the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, to Brigadier General Daniel Hibner, family and friends, to current and former military and civilian leaders, to all present today and virtual to bear witness to this relinquishment of command. I ask that you share with me as I give thanks for this service in accordance with my belief, and you in a manner of your choosing, belief and faith. May we bow our heads. Dear Heavenly Father, today we come with heads bowed, heart filled with joy, thankful for the gift of life, family, friends, co-workers, leaders such as General Hibner, thankful for our country, and so much more. Today is a very special day for the South Atlantic Division. This event demonstrates the continuity of leadership within the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. The South Atlantic Division has been blessed with the leadership of Brigadier General Hibner. In his command, he has led the division in executing one of the largest civil works programs in the Corps' history, responding to the nation's needs, whether it was maintaining deep draft and shallow draft navigation channels that are vital to our nation's economy, or responding with flood risk management projects to reduce flood risk from major natural disasters that affects people, property, and infrastructure. Under Brigadier General Hibner's leadership, the South Atlantic Division has continued to excel in these and all its mission areas. Challenged with meeting existing and future water resource problems within Puerto Rico and the U.S. Virgin Islands, under General Hibner's leadership, he established Task Force Viper that led to a recommendation and approval establishing a 6th district within the South Atlantic Division, the Caribbean District. We pray, O Lord, that you continue to guide General Hibner in his new endeavors of leadership, teachings, training, and innovation, forever seeking to improve this great organization and its responsiveness, all for the benefit of this nation. We are mindful of this occasion. Dear Lord, continue to bless and strengthen the skills, knowledge, and wisdom and leadership that you have bestowed with Colonel Matthew McCulley. He too has been in the trenches of leadership on the battlefield of service to this great nation. Guide his decisions, no matter large or small. Lastly, but in no way least, dear Lord, we ask that you continue to bestow wisdom and knowledge on the 56th Chief of Engineers, Lieutenant General Graham. We acknowledge that his responsibilities are numerous and enormous. The nation's challenges created by catastrophic weather events, changing national and world priorities, all have led to requests for the Corps of Engineers to apply its broad and unique capabilities shaped by its civilian and military professional workforce. We imagine that there have been moments, and many more to come, when what to do or what decision to make may have not come so clearly. But we pray that the spirit that abides within, his years of training, experience gained from important and critical assignments, all combined, continue to reveal new pathways to execute and accomplish difficult missions, all for the good of the citizens and this country. Dear Lord, continue to bestow wisdom in the years to come on all our military and civilian leaders during these times of change. As we stand here today, I ask for safety of all our brave men and women of the military in service to our nation. Be with them and keep them. Provide your armor protection around them. Safely return them from harm's way to their families. In closing, dear Lord, you have prepared Brigadier General Hibner in ways only you can to be successful in the conduct of his new responsibilities and duties. I ask for your continued grace and mercy. These and all things I pray. Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. It is tradition to present a gift to the spouse of the outgoing commander. At this time, Captain Conrado Trejo is presenting Ms. Teresa Hibner with red roses on behalf of the soldiers, civilians, and families of the South Atlantic Division, symbolizing our appreciation for their support and contributions. Also, red roses are being presented to their daughter, Tessa, and Brigadier General Hibner's mother, Mrs. Mary Hibner. Please join me in a round of applause. The relinquishment of command is a traditional event that is rich with symbolism and heritage. Key to the ceremony is the passing of the unit's colors. These colors represent not only the lineage and honors of the unit, but also the loyalty and unity of its soldiers and civilians. The colors are the commander's symbol of authority, representing his or her responsibilities to the organization. Wherever the commander is, there also are the colors. The custodian of the colors is the command sergeant major, who is a senior enlisted soldier in the unit and principal advisor to the commander. Throughout history, commanders have ensured their unit colors were carried by one of their most trusted officers. This practice was used in the United States Army until 1813, when the regulations were changed and the colors were entrusted to the color sergeants and now the organization's Command Sergeant Major. The passing of the colors symbolizes the transfer of authority from the outgoing commander to the incoming commander. Because of the reverence the commanders feel toward the colors, it is kept over their left breast during the transfer. The passing of the colors demonstrates to the soldiers and civilians of the organization the old commander has passed the mantle of leadership to the new commander. With this also passes the loyalty of the workforce to their new commander. And now the members of the official party will take their positions. Command Sergeant Major Russell is the Division Command Sergeant Major. He represents all the soldiers and civilian members of the division and symbolizes the important military-civilian partnership that exists in the command. Command Sergeant Major Russell presents the South Atlantic Division colors to Brigadier General Hibner. As Brigadier General Hibner passes the colors to Lieutenant General Graham, this symbolizes the relinquishment of command. As Lieutenant General Graham passes the colors to Colonel McCulley, he demonstrates his confidence in his ability to handle the responsibility of command. By order of the Army Regulation 600-20, paragraph 2-5, the undersigned assumes command of the South Atlantic Division, U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, effective 6 June 2025. Signed, Matthew Y. McCulley, Colonel, Engineer, Acting Commander. Ladies and gentlemen, Lieutenant General William H. Graham, Jr., 56th Chief of Engineers and Commanding General, U.S. Army Corps of Engineers.
Up here. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Hi, Larry. All right, it's good to see everybody. Drew, hello. Thanks, everybody, for joining us here today. So some of you might be wondering, hey, where's the other general at? So what we're doing today is what we've got with General Miller and General Hibner. They're swapping commands. And you can only have one person in charge of one organization at any one time. And so we're going to have an assumption of command when Brigadier General Zach Miller gets here in about a month. Until that point, we've got Colonel McCulley, who's well-proven leader, will steward this mighty division forward. So if you're kind of wondering, hey, we're missing some folks here, that's what's going on. That's what's going on. But that does not make this day any less bittersweet for General Hibner. It's hard to relinquish command after 3 years. So good morning, everybody. Thanks for joining us today as we mark a milestone for the great South Atlantic Division team and recognize Brigadier General Dan Hibner's significant contributions. Dan, Dave, yeah, Dan, okay. As he prepares to some of you are getting that, as he prepares to transition to his next assignment. I'll start by taking a moment to acknowledge the organizers of today's ceremony. These just don't happen out of thin air. It takes a lot of cat herding to make this up. So everybody who had a role to play in all of this, please stand up. Bob. Everybody in the back. All right, round of applause. Okay. And before we talk about Dan, we're going to start by focusing on this incredible organization, SAD. Now, I had thought SAD stood for South Atlantic Division, but I'm told Ms. Hall, that it stands for Super Awesome Division. And as we go over the accomplishments over the last 3 years, I think you'll probably agree. They have been super awesome. So the Super Awesome Division is one of our most expansive and complex divisions, providing civil works, military construction, international and interagency construction, and emergency response in support of 5 states, Puerto Rico, the Virgin Islands, Central and South America. No small feat that. The division's areas of responsibility covers 1.5 million acres of public land and water, 14 hydropower facilities, 32 locks and dams, 975 miles of levees, over 10,000 miles of shoreline, all through the southeastern United States. South Atlantic Division also provides military construction support to 11 major Army posts, 13 Air Force bases, and all that comprises 32% of the stateside Army and 18% of our Air Force. They also have 4 major commands, all headquartered here in the South Atlantic Division. So needless to say, we look to our very best leaders to command this amazing group of nearly 4,000 dedicated professionals who are entrusted with this important mission. And Brigadier General Dan Hibner is certainly one of the best. A proven warfighter and consummate professional with a steadfast commitment to the Army and the nation. Dan started off his military journey on a slightly different aspect. He started off as an infantryman in the Army Reserve, but he soon course-corrected to pursue. So, no offense to all the infantrymen out there, but he soon course-corrected to pursue his passion, transferring to the engineers and entering active duty. After leading a company during the invasion of Iraq, Dan joined the New Orleans district at a pivotal moment. There, his leadership was tested by Hurricanes Katrina and Rita. He helped run the district's busy emergency operations center and later served as the district's executive officer. An experience that further ignited the passion Dan had for the mission and people in the U.S. Corps of Engineers. And it's clear that that passion shows, day in and day out. In 2018, he realized his long-standing dream of commanding in the Corps of Engineers when he took command of the Savannah District. That's all I get out of it. Command of the Savannah District. Come on, Vanessa.
Behaving myself this morning, so Savannah is the best district to be in.
And later, when the call came to command the South Atlantic Division, Dan was thrilled to return to familiar territory, to return home. Dan took command of the South Atlantic Division on 23 August 2022. Since then, Dan and the division have been completely focused on our critical objectives of safely delivering quality projects on schedule within budget. A few examples of delivery, so bear with me. In support of the state and our national economy, the division district continued numerous harbor dredging projects. Those harbor dredging projects underpin our entire national economy. In December 22, the $580 million Charleston Harbor Post 45 project was completed, which is, I think, the deepest port on the East Coast at 52 feet. Additionally, the Mobile District successfully completed 4 of the 7 phases of the Mobile Harbor Deepening Project, with the remaining 3 finishing this summer.
About a month.
In about a month, all right. Good deal. Within the South Florida Ecosystem Restoration Program, significant progress was made over the last 3 years, including the contract awards for the Indian River Lagoon and the critical Everglades agriculture area. 2 huge and 2 hugely important projects. During his tenure, Dan's decisive engagement and leadership enabled the successful delivery of 11 regional planning and feasibility studies that resulted in chief's reports, and that's the future, right? Getting those reports done was the first critical step to getting those projects built. Dan also doesn't shy away from tough decisions, as evidenced by his drive to establish, as you heard from Bob, the Caribbean District as the most efficient and effective way to deliver the more than $5 billion in projects in the greater Caribbean region. Great job on that. Dan and his team conducted a deliberate analysis, planning, preparation that helped ensure that this new district was quickly operational with minimal disruptions across the region. Jackie, you going to start cheering on that at all? All right. This key decision has undoubtedly enhanced delivery across the entire division. Under General Hibner's leadership, The division's regulatory community continued to look for innovative ways to integrate rapidly changing technology to streamline the regulatory process, to reduce costs, and to better deliver the services to the public. Over just this last year, the division processed and completed over 18,000 actions to include 4,000 jurisdictional determinations on what is a wetland and what isn't, and finished 12,000 permit actions. That's an amazing body of work. In the military and interagency arena, General Hibner and his team delivered over $2.3 billion of construction just in fiscal year 24 for the Army, for the Department of Defense, Veterans Affairs Administration, EPA, NASA, and others, including international support to 15 countries, and the Southcom Area of Responsibility. The division and the Corps also continue to provide exceptional support to the Panama Canal Authority. Over the last 3 years, General Hibner's leadership was pivotal in the response to many hurricanes. During 2022, during the response to Hurricane Fiona and Ian, Dan oversaw $1 billion of temporary power restoration down in Puerto Rico, and mobilized over 800 responders to assist Florida in helping save 12,000 homes from flooding on the Kissimmee Chain of Lakes below Orlando. And if you don't know that story, with our partners in South Florida, the division actually pumped the Kissimmee River backwards for a while to let the water below drain out, and then finally let it flow. Those are some hard decisions with great partners, and that was an amazing body of both engineering and partnership, and it was pretty amazing. And yeah, I'm incredibly proud of the team for that. No rest for the weary, though. In 2023 and 2024, the storms kept coming with Hurricanes Idalia, Beryl, and then Helene. And so the division delivered rapid, coordinated support in emergency power, roofing, infrastructure assessments, and debris removal. Finally, to deliver this huge program, Dan recognized that it's always people that make the true difference. Through proactive engagement with federal, state, tribal, and international partners, and a deep, deep commitment to leader development, General Hibner leaves a legacy of strengthened partnerships and vastly, vastly improved USAID's capability. So Dan, that's amazing, amazing body of delivery. It really, really is. His wife, Teresa, your strengths, your resilience and unwavering support through countless deployments, permanent change of stations. I think you're about to embark on your 13th as you drive across country with 2 cats, 1 misbehaving cat, all the way to Fort Bliss. Ooh. And so we know how key that's been to Dan's success. We know that the Army life isn't always easy, so we want to thank you sincerely for all of your sacrifices you made along the way. So, and mile 100 with that cat screaming in the back seat, just will please, you've got our thanks. Also with us today is Dan's only slightly shorter daughter, Tessa, currently studying biology at Nova Southeast University there in Fort Lauderdale. So thank you, Tessa. Thank you for being here. Thank you for taking care of the cat on the journey ahead. And we know the boys couldn't be here today, but you know, Dan's awfully proud of Evan and Grant, and I'm sure they're equally proud of them. So we're also honored to have with us today Dan's parents, Mary and Harry. Mary is a retired postal carrier, and Harry served in the Air Force. Thank you both for your example of service and for raising a son with the character and commitment that we celebrate today. We also have a bone to pick with you both for giving us the 2 twins that none of us can still tear apart to this day. So for those of you who don't know, Dan has a twin brother, Dave, and Dave is now out of uniform, but he's still with the Engineer Regiment. Dave is the Director of Contingency Operations up at Headquarters USACE, and so finally, we can tell them apart, because one's in uniform and one has a nice suit and tie on. But to raising 2 amazing sons who have just served this country so well, we thank you for the gentlemen you've raised. So we thank you all for your service, your sacrifice, and your support. To your dad, to your son, to your husband. So Dan, you've done an outstanding job during your time with a super awesome division. Thank you. Thanks for your steadfast leadership, for your integrity, your service to this division, to the Corps of Engineers, our partners, and our nation. When General Zach Miller assumes command here in a little over a month, he'll be taking over a division that's better than it was when you found it. And that's the hallmark of any truly great leader. Well done. We wish you well as you transition to your next assignment as the Commanding General for the Joint Modernization Command. And for those who don't know, the Joint Modernization Command is where the future of the Army is being invented. And it's particularly with this administration, with Secretary Driscoll and Chief of Staff General George, who have an amazing appetite to transform the Army to be ready for the next war today. And so I don't think you're going to be slowed down anytime soon, but I know you have it no other way. So the Army is putting the right leader in the right place to invent the future. So to wrap this up, as General Miller gets here in a few weeks, I have absolute faith that the mighty Colonel Matt McCauley and this amazing team of professionals will continue to meet the high standard for excellence that General Hibner set regarding safely delivering quality projects on schedule and within budget. So thank you. Bittersweet day. That amazing job. Well done. So big round of applause.
Ladies and gentlemen, Brigadier General Daniel H. Hibner.
I think I screwed up the uniform.
I'll fix it straight. All right. Well, thank you, sir, for those kind words. It makes me feel super awesome, and for good reason. It's not because I'm super awesome. It really is a super awesome division. We just have amazing people, and I'm going to get into that here in a little bit. I'm also going to start a timer to make sure I don't. There's two ways you can do speech timing. One is with a clock. The other is to see people nodding their heads and falling asleep. I'm gonna go for the stopwatch here. All right. Okay. So I got to do the emotional part first because this is hard because I can't do what I do without amazing support. And it's not just in this job, it's been for the last 32 years. And Teresa, I've stood on your shoulders for so many of those years. And I get credit for service and sacrifice, but I can't do it without my family serving and sacrificing. And you guys did that. Our family took its hits, and we had to get together. We had to heal because the Army asks a lot. The Army has given me a lot. It asks a lot, and it's good, of course. But I couldn't do any of it without you guys. So thank you for that, and I love you. I love you very much. And Mom and Dad, thank you for being here. Thanks for your support. I wouldn't be standing here today, really, if it wasn't for my mom and dad, especially my mom, because I had made a last-minute snap decision that I wasn't going to attend Kemper Military College after all, and my mom quickly reversed that decision. When I came home that evening, hanging out with my friends, and there was a suitcase, clothes in it, and then because Mama and Dad wanted me and my brother, we were in the same boat to get a college education, and that was the way to do it. And then once we got the college education, Mom wouldn't stop telling us to get out of the Army. But it's all worked out, and so thank you for your support. And thank you for being here. And Matt, where'd Matt go? Matt Atkins, there he is. Thank you for being here, coming in from the great Hinesville area where you and I met 20 plus years ago now. And Matt Atkins was volunteered to be my first sergeant right before the invasion of Iraq. And, you know, one of the toughest leaders that I know, and the perfect person to be the first sergeant of Alpha Company 11th Engineer Battalion at that time, just perfect. And I appreciate the command team that we had and everything that you did for me as a company commander, and more importantly for our company to have so much success during something that is not done very often, which is a large-scale invasion of another country. And so thank you for everything and for being here today. And then for everybody here who's attending virtually, my sons, Grant and Evan, my dad, number 2, Robert Bossy, and thank you for all of your support and for being a great family. I mean, you guys mean so much to me. And so do all my siblings. What my parents didn't get credit for was raising 6 kids. Just 2 of them were twins. 4 others were my sisters, Lori, Amy, Beth, Sarah. You guys are just tremendous people, and I love you all. And thank you for your support. So if you've been around me a while, I kind of bin leadership and USACE into 3 categories. It's people, programs, and partnerships. And then, of course, centered around that is good communication. That's kind of how I'm going to talk about the people that I've had the experience to work with here in my time as the commander of South Atlantic Division. And that goes to General Spellman, the former Chief of Engineers, General Graham, who I worked with for 2 years as the DCG, and then through this year, when you were became the 56th Chief of Engineers. It's amazing how we get that right in the Army. We get great chiefs, and you guys were no exception. I can't thank you enough for your support. All of your DCGs, the staff, headquarters, USACE, incredible professionals. And then the staff at South Atlantic Division is phenomenal. We don't have the resources that we really need. We're not staffed the way we really should be. We actually need more people and more resources, more funding. We have a historically large program. It's never been bigger, yet our budget has been flat for years. And that you guys every year step up to the plate and you keep getting things done despite the challenges that we have. You guys are incredible. So thank you for all you do. And then the people that I've been able to work the closest with, Sergeant Major Russell, you might be one of the toughest people that I've ever met. With going back to Fort Leonard Wood, I remember when you talked to Command Sergeant Major Brennan telling me the story where you broke your ankle out. You're on mile 10 of a run or something, and you're crawling, trying to get cars' attention so you can get picked back. And then you're supposed to be off your feet for 2 months, and 2 weeks later you're running around again. You're a tough Sergeant Major, but you're great. You're great with people, and that is where you have really shined in my mind, is the way you look out for our people, the way you interact with our people, and you take care of our people. Thank you for doing that. And then our SES is Dr. McAllister, Larry, Ms. Hall, Seth. You guys have been amazing. Everything that you have done is always pushing the division forward. I can't get done what I want to get done without your support. You guys have been incredible for that, so thank you. And same goes with Colonel McCulley, who's been with us now for a few years, and just a few. You have been an amazing deputy. We are lucky to have you as our deputy. Thank you for continuing to serve in South Atlantic Division. Every year we benefit from your leadership, especially around hurricane season. So thank you. And of course, I want to thank my aides de camp, Z. McDonough, Zach Lockhart, and Crystal Trejo. I cannot believe how good you lieutenants are. It's crazy. And I'm lucky that, I don't know how I got so lucky to choose you 3 to be my aides de camp, because you impressed me every day. I wish I was as good when I was a lieutenant. I know I wasn't. I can't believe this stuff you guys do. And it's almost like a game now. I just put more stuff on you to see how you react, and you just keep delivering. It's amazing. And Crystal, thank you for this last year. We've had a lot of fun. It's been a lot of work, a lot of miles. flights, but it's been really good, and I'm glad we were able to share that. And then the front office, Narissa Skinner, Krista, is Christy here? No. Oh, there you are. Kutsavalas? Is that close enough? All right, Krista, thank you for coming into the office, taking over for Narissa. You both have been amazing executive assistants. Cindy Duncan, who is just a front office workhorse. We don't get done what we get done without you, and I don't see you, but I know you're probably out getting something ready for the next event. And our amazing NCOs that we had supporting the sergeant major, supporting the front office, just everything that you've done. And then back to the staff. I know I put a lot of burden on you. I asked a lot of you for planning efforts, and you guys have, because a good idea fairy likes to visit. And I like to get the sanity checks and decide if we should put some organizational energy against it. And you guys, it's some of the best planning that I've ever seen. And I'm a trained, educated planner in the Army in many ways. And Rich, you're a huge part of that. So much of the planning efforts that were led, you were a part of. Jackie, you're an amazing planner, just incredible. Viper wouldn't have happened in Caribbean District wouldn't have happened without the way that you went about that deliberate planning. And then the district commanders and DPMs, I'm not going to be able to go over everybody's names, and I apologize for that, but you guys are incredible. Again, I feel super awesome, but it's because of the super awesome district commanders and DPMs that we have. We have been so lucky to have the leadership that you provide in this division. There are a few things that I was surprised by, except for how well you were doing. You kept me always informed if something didn't go quite right. We got it back on track as quickly as we could. Just incredible leadership at the district level, and that's where the execution happens. So thank you for everything that you guys have done. That was a good rundown of some of the things that were done here in South Atlantic Division, sir. And I'm going to quickly go over, just put a little more fine point on some of that stuff. There are emergency response missions. I was the commandant in Fort Leonard when General Spellman.
Keep resetting that, give yourself more time.
Well, I just realized it stopped. So now someone's going to have to keep me straight on time. But General Spellman called me. It was in May, and he said, "Hey Dan, I think I have your next job, and it's going to come sooner than you think." And I said, "Well, how soon, sir?" And he said, "Next month." And I said, "Okay." So General Kelly, without notice, ended up having a great opportunity to go take command in Fort Jackson. We packed up the house and headed out. And to be able to come back to the region that I commanded from is just so special. But that meant that I have been in this region 6 years out of the last 7. So I've got South Atlantic Division running through my blood, and it is amazing what this division does. And just real quick, briefly, I'll talk through a couple things. The hurricane responses. So when General Spellman did call me, I was so thrilled to come back. And then I thought, oh shoot, the hurricanes. I forgot about the hurricanes. I literally hung up, and then the hurricanes popped into my head. And of course, the hurricanes came. But how amazing that this region handles those events. Just from the districts on the ground, the initial responses, setting up RFOs. It is incredible how well it's done. And so Hurricane Alley, we stick our chin out right into Hurricane Alley. Those hurricanes are going to keep coming, but I don't think that there's anybody that does it better. And I don't think anybody gets ready for those hurricanes better than this region. And you're going to, whatever comes this hurricane season, you're going to knock it out of the park, I'm sure. And hopefully nothing comes, but if it does, we'll be ready. The Civil Works mission that we mentioned, Drew, thank you for being here. The Everglades, Central and South Florida, serve all of that work. So important to the nation, so important to Florida. And you have been an amazing partner in my time here, so thank you. And thank you for being here. The harbor deepenings, SHEP, which I carried that 3 years, and then to see it finish up, that is amazing. Charleston Harbor, Mobile Harbor, really is the important work that keeps the lifeblood of the nation moving. The Caribbean District, the first full-service district that we stood up since 1950, I guess it was Fort Worth was the last full-service district that was stood up. Incredible. It needed to be done. We were able to level our workload across the region because of that. And now the district is FOC and doing amazing things. And I'm so proud of the Caribbean District is the newest 6th district. I'm proud of all of them. And I'm so happy to have this, for the benefit of the people of the Caribbean, especially in Puerto Rico and USVI. The military construction program, huge footprint here, and it's done so well. 20%, about 20% Air Force, a third of the Army population are here. Regulatory, real estate, our international program, the fact that we had a presence in Panama for the last few years where it was tenuous to have any presence, U.S. presence there at all, and that's a credit to the Corps of Engineers in South Atlantic Division and Mobile District. What's going on in Peru, Colombia, Tolomida, just amazing, really important work. And then I'll talk our partnerships, and I've recognized a couple partners already, but the military installations that we support, especially Fort Bragg, the major commands, all the command engineers that we work with, of course the build out at Fort Eisenhower and the Cyber Center of Excellence, the rebuilding of Tyndall Air Force Base, incredible military construction effort that goes on here in this region. I couldn't be more proud of it. The support we provide our other federal partners, NASA, the Department of Veterans Affairs, and many others. And there's other federal agencies that want our support, that are talking to us about getting support because we are delivering, and we're doing that good work. Oh, so it did work. That means it's 15 minutes. I won't be more than 5 minutes. All right. The partnership we have with FEMA, it's incredible, absolutely phenomenal. I mean, it's not just at the regional level. I mean, it goes all the way down into RUOC with Frank Ford and all the partnerships that we have with them. Truly amazing. The Robert Sman, I know he's probably doing something because FEMA is extraordinarily busy right now with a lot going on, and we're involved with a lot of what they're doing. But Robert Sman has been a phenomenal partner, and we're so lucky to have him as the Region 4 Director for FEMA. And I want to say this, FEMA has been incredible. I've been working with FEMA in Hurricane Alley the last 6 out of the last 7 years, and they've never been better. I've never seen them more aggressive. I've never seen them more effective. I've never seen them more fast in their responses. It's just really amazing. Our EPA partners, U.S. Fish and Wildlife, so Lane and Mike, thank you for being here. And Kevin, thank you for being here. Our Southcom partners, so important. To be treated as a engineer division commander, as like I'm a component commander in a combatant command, that's incredible. And it's a testament to the close partnership that we have. And it doesn't exist without the leadership from general officers and flag officers like General Richardson and Admiral Halsey, just incredible leaders. And then our Power Alliance partners, SEPA, and our other electric partners. Julius Hackett, thank you for being here. I'm missing people, and I apologize for that, but my time ran off. So I want to mention something. The 81 years ago today, Allied forces did a cross-channel amphibious assault and landed on the northern shores of France to defeat the German defenses there and create what would become the final crack in the defenses of the German defenses that would quickly lead to the fall of the German forces and the end of one of the bloodiest and costly wars, not only in U.S. history, but world history. And the reason I mention that, first of all, it's important that we remember these days. I had the privilege of being in War College. I was in the Joint Advanced Warfighting School, and we did a terrain walk of the landing. We actually started in Great Britain. We ferried across the Channel, landed in northern France, walked the beaches of Normandy, and I visited the graves of so many U.S. soldiers. And it's just as far as the eye can see. And we have to remember that their service and sacrifice. And it's important that we remind ourselves of the people who gave their lives for their country. General Camera, I was the chief of plans in 4th Infantry Division when he was the commanding general of 4th Infantry Division, and he had this thing he would say, and it resonated with me more over time. But he would say, the tip of the spear is only as good as the shaft of the spear, meaning the power of the spear comes from the shaft of the spear. We make up the shaft of that spear in so many ways. The military installations that we support, the lifeblood of the economy that we support for the nation, what we do internationally to provide influence, presence, counter-influence in parts of the world. That is so important to the nation. It really is the shaft of the spear. And the reason I wanted to make this point is because what we do in the Corps of Engineers, it all traces back to national security. We provide national security. And you can never lose sight of that. No matter what your job is, no matter what you think, you are part of that, pushing the shaft of that spear. And you are providing the platform, not only economically, but in the real world, for if and when we have to go to war, that we're ready to do it. And that not only that we're ready to do it, that we can fight that war and we can win it. That's what we do. It all goes back to national security, everything we do. So, with that, this is bittersweet, sir. This is very bittersweet. But this has been a great honor for me. This has been an incredible experience. I do hope that I left this organization better. You're right, sir. I mean, that's what we should be striving for as leaders, I'm perpetuating the amazing leadership. That's my goal. That was my goal when I took over from General Kelly, to try to perpetuate the momentum of the organization. It was already doing incredible. And I was just able to kind of get on for the ride and hopefully do some good things as well. I'll say this. Whenever I have anybody leaving the Corps of Engineers, I tell them, you'll always be part of the Corps of Engineers family. And I take that to heart. So whether you like that or not, I see myself as part of the family, and I always will, especially in South Atlantic Division. So thank you, everybody, for being here. Thanks for what you do for the nation every day, and thanks for all my friends and family and colleagues for attending either in person or virtually. Essians, let us try, we will succeed, and trust and empower.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the singing of the engineer song, the Army song, and the departure of the official party. The words are located on the back of your program. Ladies and gentlemen, please remain in position until the official party departs. Brigadier General and his family will receive friends and well-wishers in the front of the room. On behalf of the Commander of the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, we want to thank you all for attending and viewing today's Relinquishment of Command ceremony. Army strong, building strong, Essayons.